Hello, students. Today we're going to learn the basic structure of an insect head. The head of an insect is the first part of its body, generally round or oval, with sensory organs, compound eyes, single eyes and antennae, feeding organs, oral organs. Therefore, the head is the center of insect perception and feeding. First, let's look at the compound eyes of insects. The compound eye is the main visual organ of insects and usually occupies a prominent position on the side of the insect's head. The compound eyes of most insects are round, oval, or kidney-shaped, one on each side, either connected or separated. The compound eye is a collection of more than one small eye used to distinguish objects. Especially moving objects, is the most important visual organ of insects. You can see on the left the hemispherical compound eye of a fly, and each compound eye is made up of about 4,000 tiny eyes. On the right is the compound eye of the longicorn. The single eye of the insect is also the visual organ of the insect. Its structure is relatively simple, similar to a small eye in the compound eye, mostly three, arranged in a triangle, some only two or no, but the single eye can only feel the strength and direction of the light, cannot image, cannot distinguish the color. Next, let's talk about insect antennae. Antennae are important sensory organs of insects. There are many sensory organs on the surface, mainly smell and touch, and some have auditory effects, which can help insects communicate, find the opposite sex, find food, and choose spawning places and other activities. With few exceptions, insects have a pair of antennae on their heads. Antennae are generally located in the frontal region of the insect head, the base of which is enclosed in the membranous antennal fossa. Antennae are composed of scape pedicel and flagellum. The scape segment is the most basic segment of the antenna, often short, which has muscles and can move freely. The activity of antennae is mainly determined by this segment. There is usually no sensory organ in the scape segment, and its change is very small. The pedicel is the second segment of the antennae, which is generally relatively small, except for the insects of Collembola and Diplura. Most insects have the ganglia in the pedicel. It's an organ of hearing, and it's one of the most perceptive organs of hearing. The flagellate segment is the terminal segment of the antenna, often divided into several subsegments, which vary greatly in different insects. The flagellate segment is the main part of the antennae that performs sensory functions. Because of the different species and sex of insects, the length, thickness, and shape of their antennae are different, so the type of antennae is often used as an important feature to identify the species and sex of insects. So, what are the common antenna types? Thread-like antennae, also called filamentous antennae, elongated, cylindrical, except for the base and pedicel are thicker. The other sections are similar in size and shape, tapering to the end. Thread-like antenna is the most common type of insect antenna. Antennae of katydids and longicorns are typical linear antennae, sometimes several times longer than the body. Antennae setae, short, coxal and pedicle thicker, other segments fine like seta, such as dragonfly, cicada, leafhopper, etc. The clavicular antenna is also called the bulbous antenna, and its structure is similar to that of the linear antenna, but several segments of the proximal end are enlarged like rods. For example, antennae of butterflies and Ascalaphidae belong to this group. The antennae are bead-like. The basal segment is longer, the pedicel is small, and the flagellate segment is composed of a number of approximately spherical and similar in size, resembling a string of beads. Antennae such as termites and brown flies. Feathery tentacles, also known as double-comb-toothed tentacles. Each section of the flagellum protrudes to both sides in the shape of thin branches. Branches may also have fine hair, tentacles like bird feathers or shaped like a grate, like the antennae of many male moth individuals. Pectinate antennae, flagellate subsegments prominent to one side, like pectinate. Examples include the antennae of part of the click beetle and the mung bean weevil. Antennae branchiate, distal to the flagellate segments extended into sheets, resembling fish gills, like the antennae of a chafer. Antennae ring-hairy, having a circle of fine hairs on each segment, the longer the hairs closer to the base, as in the antennae of the male mosquito. With awning antenna, the antenna is very short. The flagellum segment is only one segment, thicker than the scape segment and the pedicel segment, on which there is a bristle or awning structure called antennae. These antennae are unique to diptera flies. The geniculate antenna is also called the elbow-like antenna. The scape segment is longer. The pedicel segment is small. The shape and size of each subsegment of the flagellum segment are similar, and the pedicel segment is bent like an elbow, such as the antennae of ants, bees, and crustaceans. Class: Today we mainly studied the compound eye, monocular, and antennae of insects. Next time we will explain the mouthparts of insects. See you next time.